Have you ever wondered how one battle could change the course of history? Today we delve into the heart of an event that did just that. The Battle of Hastings, a clash of wills and weapons that reshaped the world. Join us as we journey back to the year 1066 to the battlefield of Hastings. Before we delve into the heart of the battle, let's first understand its origins. The year is 1066, a year that would forever change the course of English history. Our story begins with the death of an English king, Edward the Confessor. Edward's passing sparked a bitter dispute over the English throne, a dispute that would soon ignite the fires of war. At the heart of this dispute were two formidable figures, William, the Duke of Normandy, and Harold Godwinson, the Earl of Wessex. Each claimed the right to the English throne, each had their own reasons, and each was prepared to fight for it. William, also known as William the Conqueror, was a distant cousin of Edward the Confessor. He claimed that Edward had promised him the throne years earlier, but there was a complication: Harold Godwinson. Harold was Edward's brother-in-law and the most powerful man in England after the king himself. To make matters more complex, William insisted that Harold had pledged to support his claim to the throne during a meeting in Normandy. On the other hand, Harold Godwinson, who was already ruling England as regent, claimed that Edward had named him as his successor on his deathbed. Harold was a seasoned warrior, a man respected by the English nobility and the common folk alike. Both men had strong claims and powerful allies. The stage was set for a showdown that would decide the fate of England. The tension was palpable as both sides prepared for war. William gathered his Norman forces across the English Channel, amassing an army of knights ready for battle. Meanwhile, Harold rallied the English forces, preparing to defend his claim and his homeland. The dispute over the English throne was more than just a battle for power. It was a clash of cultures, a confrontation between the old Anglo-Saxon England and the new Norman influence. It was a war that would reshape England and its identity for centuries to come. With the stage set, the battle lines were drawn. The future of England hung in the balance. On the 14th of October, 1066, the two armies faced each other on the battlefield. This day, forever etched in the annals of history, saw the unfolding of the Battle of Hastings, a pivotal moment that would shape the destiny of England. As dawn broke, a sense of anticipation filled the air. On one side stood King Harold's Anglo-Saxon forces, sturdy and resolute, their shields gleaming in the morning sun. On the other, Duke William of Normandy's men, a formidable force of knights, archers, and infantrymen, all ready to stake their claim on English soil. The initial stages of the battle saw Harold's forces utilize the shield wall tactic, a formidable defensive formation, creating an impenetrable wall of shields. Their position atop Senlac Hill gave them a strategic advantage, making it harder for William's forces to break through. However, William was a seasoned tactician. He recognized the strength of the shield wall and countered with a feigned retreat. His men pretended to flee in disarray, luring the Anglo-Saxons away from their advantageous position on the hill and breaking their formation. The ruse worked. Harold's men, thinking they had the upper hand, broke ranks and pursued them, leaving their defensive position vulnerable. This was the turning point of the battle. Seizing the opportunity, William ordered his archers to fire at the now exposed English forces. The rain of arrows caused chaos and confusion in Harold's ranks, turning the tide of the battle in William's favor. As the day wore on, the battle raged. The two sides clashed in a deadly dance of steel and courage. Harold's men fought valiantly, but the tide had turned. The Normans, with their superior tactics and the momentum of the battle on their side, began to overpower the English forces. In the end, it was a single arrow that sealed Harold's fate. Struck in the eye, the English king fell, his forces watching in horror as their leader succumbed to his injuries. With their king fallen, the morale of the English forces waned, and they began to retreat. William seized this opportunity, ordering his forces to pursue and defeat the remaining English soldiers. The victory was decisive. William the Conqueror, as he would come to be known, had claimed the English throne through a display of superior strategy and military prowess. His victory at the Battle of Hastings marked the beginning of the Norman rule in England, a period that would have a profound impact on the country's history and culture. By the end of the day, the fate of England had been sealed. The Battle of Hastings, a single day in the autumn of 1066, had changed the course of English history forever. The events of that day remain a testament to the fact that in the theater of war, it is not only strength but strategy and cunning that often determine the victor. The Battle of Hastings was over, but its effects were far-reaching. The dust had settled, the blood had been shed, and a new dawn had emerged. The immediate aftermath saw William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy, ascend to the throne of England, marking the end of Anglo-Saxon rule. This shift in power was not just a change of faces, but a seismic shift in the cultural and political landscape of the country. The Norman conquest brought with it a wave of French influence. The English court was no longer exclusively Anglo-Saxon, it was now a melting pot of Norman and English nobility. French language permeated the English court, and over time, it intertwined with Old English to give birth to a unique, enriched version of the English language that we recognize today. The architecture of England also underwent a transformation. The Normans introduced the Romanesque architecture, with its rounded arches and massive proportions, which was a stark contrast to the Anglo-Saxon style. The Tower of London, a quintessential example of Norman architecture, still stands today as a testament to this transformation. The societal structure was not left untouched. The feudal system was introduced, a hierarchical structure where every person had a defined place. The king was at the top, followed by his vassals, the nobles, and then the peasants. This system brought a certain order to the society but also widened the gap between the rich and the poor, leading to social unrest in the years to follow. The Battle of Hastings also led to a shift in military tactics. The Normans' successful use of cavalry against the Anglo-Saxon infantry led to a broader adoption of mounted knights in warfare, forever changing the face of medieval battles. In essence, the Battle of Hastings was more than just a battle. It was a pivotal event that reshaped England. The ripples of this historic event can still be felt today, in the language we speak, the buildings we see, and the societal structures we live in. The Battle of Hastings marked the beginning of a new era in English history. In this brief journey through time, we have seen how a single battle shaped the future of a nation. Let's take a moment to reflect on the events that led to this momentous clash. The stage was set when Edward the Confessor, the King of England, passed away without an heir. His death created a power vacuum, and three ambitious claimants emerged, each vying for the coveted throne. Harold Godwinson, the brother-in-law of the late king, was elected by the English Council of Nobles. Yet his claim was challenged by two formidable rivals, Harold Hardrada of Norway and William, the Duke of Normandy. The Battle of Hastings was not merely a clash of swords, but a collision of aspirations, ambitions, and claims to the English throne. The battle, which took place on the 14th of October in the year 1066, was a turning point in the annals of English history. William's victory was not just a testament to his military prowess, but also a reflection of his strategic acumen. The famed feigned retreat tactic used by the Normans turned the tide of the battle, breaking the robust shield wall of the English forces. But the battle was not won without cost. The death of King Harold, struck down by an arrow in his eye, marked the end of Anglo-Saxon rule in England. The Normans had triumphed, and with this victory, William ascended the throne, earning the title William the Conqueror. The battle's aftermath was equally significant. The Norman conquest marked a seismic shift in England's social, political, and cultural fabric. The English language transformed, absorbing French words and influences. The Norman reign introduced feudalism, reshaping the social hierarchy and land ownership. The architectural landscape of England also underwent a transformation, with the construction of castles and cathedrals in the Norman style. The Battle of Hastings was not just a battle, it was a turning point, a pivot upon which the wheel of English history turned. The repercussions of this event echoed through the centuries, influencing the development of the English nation and its identity. The impact of this battle transcended the borders of England, influencing Europe and, by extension, the entire world. The story of the Battle of Hastings is a testament to the fact that history is not simply a chronicle of events. It is a complex tapestry woven with threads of ambition, strategy, and consequence. It serves as a reminder that the course of history can be altered by a single event, a single battle. So the next time you ponder about the course of history, remember the Battle of Hastings, a battle that changed everything.